Coalition. I just want to make one example out of this officer when we talk about training and we talk about de-escalation tactics. And what exactly he did was he stepped into conflict. And I've seen him rip microphones off of people. And I've cautioned him before that that type of behavior is going to lead to him killing somebody. And so these things, I just don't really believe that these officers are being trained to de-escalate, which leads me to my point that more training and more money spent on training doesn't really change behavior, and he's an exact example of that. But I really wanted to talk about the human impact of LAPD policies in our community. So when we talk about the sabotaging of the digital in-car video systems, one of the things I want to say is what happened to all those people where these cameras were sabotaged? What about their lives? Does those lives not matter as to what possibly happened? And this commission did not want to investigate. And Mr. Bustamante said, I can only do what the commission tells me to do, and he's bogged down with work and all these excuses, which I kind of believe that he probably is bogged down with work, but doesn't that say that this commission should do something about that? So obviously the impact of that sabotaging really puts little faith that if the body cameras are sabotaged, that any type of investigation will occur. So that's something else we need to think about. And then when we think about suspicious activity reporting, all these new counterterrorism policies and how they're going to affect the community, we have to start to investigate what kind of impact they're having and what community they're having an impact on, because we're already seeing a trend in racial profiling, and there's tons of federal funding and there's tons of local funding that are going into these policies. We already see what the consequences of the war on drugs were. How much more data are we going to need to collect on these new policies to find out that they're impacting communities, possibly incarcerating people who don't deserve to be, that should not be incarcerated. And again, just to reiterate, body cameras are a waste of resources. We don't need to give police officers more money to make them honest. I mean, it was very clear to my mother, who doesn't even study this stuff, that why should we actually use these things to make officers honest? Now, I hear you, Soboroff, but I have one last statement to make, and you don't have to be so disruptive yourself.
You're taking time out of this.